Belarusian citizens have been warned about potential road restrictions due to military equipment movements. Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko has ordered a combat readiness check of the country's armed forces.
The units involved in the inspection will conduct engineering works, camouflage operations, security and defense measures in designated areas, as well as live-fire exercises with standard-issue weapons, to create conditions as close as possible to real combat, based on lessons from modern conflicts. Both strike and reconnaissance UAVs, as well as aviation, will be deployed. Ministry of Defense of Belarus. On Telegram.
Since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, such military exercises, including those near the Polish border, have become regular in Belarus. On January 14, 2025, Belarusian and Russian forces held joint military maneuvers. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy believes that Putin is actively trying to drag Belarus into the war against Ukraine. In an interview with The Guardian, Zelenskyy stated that, according to Ukrainian intelligence, Russia plans to expand its army by 12 to 15 divisions in 2025, an increase of roughly 150,000 soldiers. A significant portion of these troops is likely to be trained on Belarusian territory.
I want to emphasize that supporting Ukraine is about protecting all of Europe. You must understand that when Russians and Belarusians started military training together in Belarus, that was the prelude to the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. If they conduct similar exercises in the summer or autumn of 2025, when they are fully prepared, I believe they could launch another full-scale invasion. And here's the question: who says it will be against Ukraine? They could move toward Poland, toward Lithuania.
In 2022, Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine following joint exercises with Belarus under the name Union Resolve. Another set of joint maneuvers, Zapad 2025, is scheduled for mid-September 2025.
Такие мероприятия и готовящиеся
учения,
и то, как с момента начала российской агрессии Путин и Лукашенко предпринимали ряд мер по углублению так называемой интеграции вооруженных сил Беларуси и России, которая выражалась и вот, собственно, по совместной военной доктрине и в развитии региональной группировки войск, которая была активизирована в 2022 году, и создание единой системы ПВО, и организация совместных учебных центров, которые были в марте 2000.
For 3 decades, Lukashenko has not only built a dictatorship but also turned Belarus into an economic attachment and military outpost for Russia. On March 25th, he once again declared himself president, pledging to uphold and protect the Belarusian constitution. On the same day, authorities restricted access to Belarusian websites for foreign users. Experts know that absurdity of the situation not only due to the lack of legitimacy in Lukashenko's so-called inauguration, but also because of the date chosen for it. In Belarus, March 25th is celebrated as Freedom Day.
This date was deliberately chosen. He had the option to pick any day. He didn't have to wait until the last moment. This is no coincidence. It is a symbolic act. Most likely, he sees it as a victory. His previous inauguration, as you may remember, was conducted in secret. Now he wants to prove that was an anomaly, while this is the new normal.
The so-called presidential elections in Belarus took place on January 26, 2025. They were met with widespread international criticism due to severe repression against the opposition and a complete lack of transparency. The European Union and other Western countries refused to recognize the election results. Reported by Serhiy Kulias, Yulia Agranovska, UATV News.
According to the draft law submitted to the State Duma, Russia wants to place new military bases in Belarus. This initiative will be implemented as part of the document signed by Putin and Lukashenko on December 6, 2024, during a meeting of the Supreme State Council in Minsk. The agreement will last for 10 years. The document also mentions the possibility of using nuclear weapons.
Russian nuclear weapons may be used in response to the use of conventional weapons against Russia or Belarus, which create a threat to sovereignty, according to the Security Guarantees Agreement within the Union State, from a Sputnik Belarus Telegram channel.
According to the media, the document also includes a provision about the potential deployment of Belarus citizens to fight in a war against Ukraine, quoted as "to protect the territorial integrity of Russia." President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, is certain that Putin not only does not plan to stop the war against Ukraine, but will also try to drag Belarus into it.
You will see it in the spring, in the summer. He will deploy forces on Belarusian territory, and many Europeans, maybe even the United States, will say it's intimidation. It's intimidation of Poland, Lithuania, and other Baltic partners. But you'll see he will do everything to involve them. He will think of ways to provoke them. I don't know if there will be an invasion, but in any case, this will drag Belarus into the war.
Belarus is ready de facto participating in Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. In February 2022, Minsk allowed the use of its military infrastructure and airspace for the Russian army's invasion and the shelling of peaceful Ukrainian cities. In January this year, Lukashenko announced the deployment of so-called Russian Oreshnik installation on Belarus territory. Meanwhile, Russia continues to conduct drills on the covert launch of intercontinental ballistic missiles Yars in the Volga region.
During maneuvering actions, units are practicing tasks of dispersing in the forest area to enhance the stealth of the mobile ground-based missile system Yars. These planned activities allow for testing the readiness of personnel, as well as weaponry and military equipment for long-term duty on combat patrol routes. Ministry of Defense of Russia on Telegram.
The full-scale Russian invasion in 2022 would not have happened if Ukraine had not abandoned its nuclear arsenal under the Budapest Memorandum, said President Volodymyr Zelenskyy in an interview with British journalist Piers Morgan. That's why Zelenskyy believes nuclear weapons could become a security guarantee for Ukraine as an alternative to join NATO.
If NATO, not today, but in some future perspective, then the whole process of moving toward NATO, no matter how long it takes, unfortunately does not depend on us. If this process drags on for years or even decades, not because of us but because of our partners, then we have an absolutely fair question. What will protect us from this evil during all this time or throughout this entire path? What kind of support package will we get? What missiles? Will they return nuclear weapons to us? Let them return nuclear weapons to us. Or will they give us a package of long-range missiles in such quantities that we can stop Russia? I am not sure about this, although it would definitely help. On the other hand, what missiles can stop Russia's nuclear missiles? That's a rhetorical question.
The full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine is the result of violating international obligations and disregarding global security principles, emphasized the president of Ukraine. Reported by Alexandra Zaslavets, Yulia Hranovskaya, UATV News.